Here you are, darling.
Thank you. Oh, it's such an exciting city. I wish we were down there tonight.
Suppose somebody should recognize us.
You're a fine one to talk.
What do you mean?
Mr. Lyons, do you realize you signed our real names on the hotel register?
Oh, brother, do I know what I'm doing? I'm just a delirious bridegroom.
Hmm.
Somebody there?
The waiter, sir. Just clearing up the dishes.
Someday, you know what we're going to do?
What, honey?
We're going back home to have a real church wedding. Bridesmaids, flowers, you know, all the things you missed by running away with me. May take a couple of years. Might even... Nobody knows we're here.
It's probably a mistake. Hello? Yes? Who? Frank, do you know a Mr. Adams? Bill Adams?
Well, I'll be... Hello, Bill, you old gold brick, you. Gee, it's been so long, I hardly recognize your voice. Well, I'd love to talk to you about it, Bill, but, hold on a minute. He's got this big deal that he wrote me about. He and his partner are downstairs, and they want to talk to me a couple of minutes. What do you say we have a drink with them?
Oh, I don't want to get dressed again, honey. You go. I'll be all right.
No, no. Not without you.
Go ahead. I'll be all right, really.
Okay. Bill? Yeah, but for just a couple of minutes, gotta get back to my bride. Oh, don't I know? Yeah. Main bar? Okay.
Now, who exactly is Bill Adams?
I told you, honey. He and I personally won South Korea. I wrote him a couple of weeks ago I'd be passing through San Francisco. That was before I knew you were coming with me.
Now, don't be long, darling. The bar, please.
I'm sorry, ma'am. The bars are closed.
Well, then, Mr. Adams' room.
What's the room number, please?
Number? I don't know. Adams.
I'll give you the desk clerk. Hold on, please.
Hello, this is the desk.
Hello. I want the number of Mr. Adams' room, please.
Adams?
Bill Adams. He checked into the hotel tonight.
You must be mistaken, ma'am. There's no Adams registered here.
on, Bismarck. I'll catch him. Yes, come on, Bismarck.
Yes, I know.
Morning, Don.
Yes, but he may have had an accident. Oh, you called?
Oh,
Excuse me, Dr. Hyde.
Oh, young fellow, you know, sometimes I have doubts that you were ever born. You must have been shot out of a cannon.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, tell me, is Caddy out there in the kitchen?
Yeah, would you like some breakfast? Sandwich, maybe?
Ooh, no, thank you. No, Bismarck and I are on a diet this week, both of us. Hey, Bismarck, go and see Caddy. There's a good boy. Yeah. You see, Caddy and I have made a compact. On the days I lecture at the university, Caddy babysits with Bismarck.
What do you do for her?
Oh, I tutor her in anagrams.
Fair enough. Certainly, Arthur. Tell Mrs. Lyons I'll be right over. Right.
Checkmate business down?
It appears so. That was Arthur's stall.
The hotel manager?
One of the guests, a bridegroom, disappeared from the hotel last night around 10:30.
Maybe you got a close look at the bride.
That's not funny, Jed. She's sure something terrible has happened to him or she'd have heard from him by now.
Well, offhand, I'd say that was a police case.
Well, she doesn't want to get involved with them. Not yet, anyway.
Should it require my rather unique services, I should be through at the university by 2 today.
Come on, Jed. I may need your help.
That's a clever diet you're on, Dr. Hyatt.
I'll park the wheels.
Wait for me in the lobby.
Who is it?
Don Corey. Checkmate. Mrs. Lyons? The hotel manager called me, said you needed help.
Yes, he recommended you very highly. Mr. Corey, I'm so scared. I just don't know what to do.
Well, first sit down. Relax.
And then about 10:30, the phone rang.
Yes?
Well, we were surprised because nobody was supposed to know where we were. And, well, I thought it was a mistake, so I answered it.
And who was it?
Bill Adams, an old friend of Frank's. They hadn't seen each other for 7 or 8 years. And he had a partner with him, and he said there was some deal he wanted to talk to Frank about. Frank said he'd just be a minute, and that he'd come right back.
Go on, Mrs. Lyons.
Well, that's all. He never came back.
Well, why didn't you call the police?
Well, because I didn't... We eloped, Mr. Corey, and my grandmother was dead set against Frank. According to her, he's a nobody, and he only wanted to marry me for her money. I'm hoping you'll find Frank and everything will be all right without publicity.
Why did you come to San Francisco?
We were on our way to Hong Kong. Frank has an uncle there in the import business. He's going to work for him.
How did Bill Adams know where you are?
Frank said they'd been corresponding, and... Oh, I don't know. He just checked into the hotel, and he said he called us.
And you answered the phone?
Yes.
Would you recognize Bill Adams' voice if you heard it again?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Does your husband carry an address book, Mrs. Lyons?
Well, yes, he does. I never thought of that.
Bill Adams Used Cars. Bill Adams speaking.
Mr. Adams, this is Don Corey calling from San Francisco. The name of my firm is Checkmate, and...
Checkmate? What's the gag?
Do you know Mr. Frank Lyons?
Frank, sure. He was my CO in Korea.
When did you get back to San Diego?
Back from where?
San Francisco.
San Francisco? About 2 years ago, the last time.
Mr. Adams, did you talk to Frank Lyons last night?
Last night? Are you kidding?
It's been 7 years. Well, we write to each other. Hey, wait a minute. What's going on? Is somebody using my name?
Thank you, Mr. Adams.
Hold on a minute. Something happened to my old buddy?
That's just what I'm trying to find out. Goodbye, sir.
Yo.
What am I going to do?
Well, it's obvious somebody used a name your husband would recognize. Now we've got to find out how he got that name. Adams said he wrote to your husband. Could somebody have seen one of those letters?
Well, how?
Well, I don't know, but isn't it
Frank
possible?
was taking along a lot of mail. He said he was going to answer it in Hong Kong. Well, they were here. I know they were.
was in this room besides you and your husband?
Let me see. First the bellboy, and then the waiter. It couldn't have been either one of them. The bellboy brought our things up, and then he left. He was never out of our sight.
And the waiter?
The waiter brought our dinner up, and then he left. It couldn't have been...
Now, think just a minute, Mrs. Lyons. When did the waiter come back to remove the dinner cart?
Well, I don't remember exactly. We were looking out of the window in the bedroom.
You were in there, and the door was closed?
No, it was open. I remember now. We didn't hear the waiter come in. We just heard a noise, and Frank said, "Who's there?" And the waiter said, "I'm just clearing up the dishes."
But did you see the waiter?
No, but when we came back in here, the cart was gone.
You wait right here, Mrs. Lyons. I'll be back as soon as I can. Are you the waiter who served dinner in room 903 last night?
Who else?
Around what time was that?
Oh, 9:30 maybe.
And you came back later and took the cart out of the room?
No, I didn't. When I came back, it was already standing in the hall.
Do you have any idea who could have wheeled it out?
Maybe the good fairies.
Oh, Doc, this is my way to find you. What's up? I've been talking to the doorman at about 10:30 last night. That's the time Frank Lyons disappeared, right?
Right.
Well, about then, the doorman said he saw a bellhop take a drunk to the curb just as a car pulled up.
Go on.
Well, the bellhop pushed the drunk into the car and they drove off. The doorman thought it was kind of funny the way the car pulled up just at the right time. Sound like anything?
Could be. Did you get the bellhop's name?
Yeah, Stan Lassinger.
Look, check with the bell captain. See if this Stan is anywhere around, will you?
Yeah.
Room 903, please.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Lyons. This is Don Corey. Can you come down to the lobby, please?
Yes, I'll be right down. Who is it?
Mrs. Lyons, I want you to point out the bellhop that carried your bag.
I'm sorry, Mr. Corey. I no longer need your services.
What? Are you sure you...
I pay you whatever you think is fair.
Are you going to the police? Is that it?
No. How much do I owe you, please?
But just a few moments ago, you were very anxious to talk to me.
Please, Mr. Corey.
Look, let's sit down for a minute.
No,
Please, just for a moment.
Please, I just...
Please sit down. What happened?
Nothing, really. It's just that I would
You
like
got a
to
call
pay you...
from someone?
No.
You got a letter. Something.
Please go away, Mr. Corey. I'm afraid they'll see us.
Let me see it.
I'm scared.
Let me see it. Dear Mrs. Lyons, your husband is alive and unharmed. If you'd like him back the same way, stay away from the police. If you don't obey, I'll cut his throat. Stay in the hotel, you'll be contacted.
It was slipped under my door just a few moments ago, and, well, it said to stay away from the police.
I'm not the police, Mrs. Lyons.
I want my husband back, Mr. Corey, now don't spoil it for me.
Will you excuse me just a moment? I'll be right back.
He hasn't shown up yet. I went down to the bellboy's locker room and double-checked. Nobody's seen him.
I think we better see if we can get his home address.
Mrs. Lyons? If you want to see your husband, Mrs. Lyons, there's a car waiting at the side entrance. You'd better make up your mind in a hurry. I haven't got much time.
Thanks for the information. Stan Lassinger, 10432 Bolivia Avenue. This address address is on the other side of town. I better go over and have a talk with our boy, Stan. I want you to stay here and keep an eye on Mrs. Lyons. If you see anyone talking to her, anyone.
Where is the bride?
Where's my husband? What have you done with him?
Gina. Bring him in.
Frank!
Darling, it's all right. It's all right. It's okay.
Look, let him go. I'll pay you. What is it that you want?
Please sit down. Control yourself.
Darling, please listen to him.
Look, do exactly as he says. You're a smart man, Mr. Lyons. Now let's see if we can come to an understanding without any hysterics.
What's he talking about?
The man's a murderer.
I hope you can convince your wife of that, Mr. Lyons. Because it happens to be true. I was sentenced to hang over a year ago. I was lucky enough to escape a month before my scheduled execution. I've been a fugitive ever since. If I stay in this country, I'm bound to be caught sooner or later. I've got to get out. I need a legitimate passport. Do you understand?
Oh. No.
We look enough alike so I can use his passport. Don't you think so? With his glasses on, like this, I'll pass as your husband.
Oh, no. Oh, Frank, I just can't go through with this.
You must go through with it. I'll tell you exactly what I told your husband. If you don't cooperate, I'll see that he's killed. I can't put it any more plainly than that. My associates will kill him.
What do I have to do?
You'll pretend that I am your husband until we arrive safely in Hong Kong. At that time, I'll wire my friends and have your husband released. After that, you can make whatever arrangements you wish for your safe return.
Well, it just won't work. It's too late. I've already hired somebody that...
Checkmate, I know. I want you to go back to the hotel and play it out. I would have preferred that you check out immediately. But with Mr. Corey on the case, it may arouse too much suspicion.
Darling. Well, you know, one can't pinpoint chronological age in graphology. However, well, my educated guess would be that the man who wrote this note is around 30. The Greek D. You see it there, Jen? Well, that shows that he's highly intelligent.
His vertical strokes are very bold.
Arrogance. An overbearing arrogance. Now, this is a cruel, cunning man, Don.
Well, that's fairly obvious, isn't it? After all, he's a kidnapper.
Oh, my dear boy, not all criminals are cruel and cunning. Why, some of them are the most pathetic, stupid, frightened creatures that ever crawled this earth. Wait a moment. Yes, I believe there's a malfunction of the right arm.
You can see that?
Yes, and the way he makes his loops, you see. Well, it could be a paralysis of some sort.
Is that all?
Well, I'm a criminologist, Don, not a fortune teller.
Well, it doesn't give me much to go on, Carl.
What do you expect? His name, address, and serial number? Hello? Hyatt here. Huh? Oh, yes. It's for you, Don. Arthur Stall at the hotel.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Arthur? Yes. Oh? Oh, well, thank you. Yes, I'll be right over. Mrs. Lyons is back at the hotel, and her husband is with her.
Come in, Mr. Corey.
Mrs. Lyons?
Well, I suppose you've heard the good news. My husband is... You'll have to forgive me. It's just that I'm so happy.
Where is he?
Frank?
Did you call me, darling?
This is Mr. Corey.
Oh, well, I'm so happy to know you, Mr. Corey. You need a drink. I guess we all need one.
Thank you.
You've been so helpful to Betty, I don't know how I can ever thank you, Mr. Corey.
By telling me what happened to you.
Well, you must know part of it already.
Well, I know a bellhop stole some letters and had something to do with the kidnapping.
Yes, he impersonated my friend, Bill Adams. And I didn't even remember his voice. So I left the apartment and I rang for the elevator, but somebody got to me before the elevator did. Next thing I knew, I was wandering around the lobby in a daze. And they shoved me into a car, and away we went. Oh, look at my poor bride. This has been quite a honeymoon so far. Come on now, relax, honey. I'm back, and I'm perfectly all right. You sit down, Mr. Corey?
Thank you.
Well, then they drove me to a shack on the other side of town, and blindfolded me first, kept me prisoner there, and they contacted my wife.
Well, what did they want?
Money. What else? I married an heiress.
But how did they know that?
Well, the local papers back in Orlando made quite a bit of hay about our romance, so it's possible that they followed us from Florida.
It's possible. How did you get away, Mr. Lyons?
Well, it's pretty amateurish of them. They put me in a room on the first floor, and there was a man in the next room with a gun. And this morning, the other two drove off, so I waited a while and busted the window pane and dove out.
Did the guard fire at you?
Well, actually, he didn't have a chance. I think I busted all records for the mile. And so here I am.
Did you report it to the police?
Well, frankly, I've been so happy to get back, I didn't even think of it. But believe me, I will, and within 5 minutes, too. Thanks a million, Mr. Corey, for everything.
Glad you're back. Safe.
What do we owe you?
Oh, let's forget it, Mr. Lyons. It's my wedding present.
No, I insist. And I think that ought to cover it.
All right. Goodbye, Mrs. Lyons. San Francisco's really a wonderful city. I hope you'll come back sometime to enjoy it.
Thank you, Mr. Corey.
Bye.
And good riddance to you.
Who is it?
Waiter. Good evening. Sign, please. Lady, if you don't sign, I've got to pay for it myself.
Yes, of course.
Something bothering you, lady?
Well, no, that is...
Betty!
Thank you.
You sure you're all right, lady?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm wonderful. I never felt better in my life. I'm happy. I'm married. I'm on my honeymoon.
All right, stop it.
I can't go through with it. I can't. Do you know what I was going to do? I was going to write on that check, call the police.
Call them. I give you permission to call them. Go on. Call them. I dare you. Shall I ask the operator to get them for you? Let me repeat what I told you before. You may get somebody to help you. You may get a message to the police. But if they get me, your husband's life will be over. If I don't call in every hour, their orders are to kill him.
You check Lieutenant Brandt?
Yes.
Possibly he was afraid of the publicity. You know, the demon grandmother.
I know. If people would only realize that the police are there to help.
Well, what did he look like?
Who?
The man who wrote the note.
Oh, I don't know.
You mean to say you didn't ask Lyons for a description of the kidnapper? Well, but how can you be so derelict?
He was back. He said he'd report to the police. From there on, it was their business.
But I must know how well I analyzed that note. Oh, it's not a question of ego, Don, but a scientific inquiry. Are they still at the hotel?
Yeah. They're supposed to take off later tonight. Look, would it make you happier if we went there and talked to him?
Oh, it certainly would.
All right, let's go. What are we looking for?
Bismarck, go off and see Caddy. I'll see you later, huh?
Dr. Hyde has made a life study of the art of graphology. He's considered quite eminent in the field.
You see, I formed quite a clear picture of your abductor by the note he wrote. I simply want it verified.
I don't believe in that sort of thing.
You don't believe? Young lady, I know absolutely nothing about you. Will you please write anything you wish in that notebook? Well, go on, write.
Well, what shall I write?
Mary had a little lamb. I don't care.
Mary had a little lamb.
Yes, there's a flow to your hand. A rhythm. It leads me to believe that you have some natural musical ability. However, it's undisciplined.
Well, I play the piano by ear.
Well, this is interesting. The variety of angles shows a high state of agitation.
Well, of course, she's agitated after what she's been through. Do you expect her to be calm? Doctor, it's getting a little late for parlor tricks. What is it exactly that you want to know?
Well, describe the kidnapper to me.
Of course. He was in his late 50s, short and squat, built like a wrestler. He had powerful hands, like, two hams.
Any peculiarities of speech?
Yes, he spoke with a European accent. I don't know which country, though.
You misunderstood, Mr. Lyons. There was more than one man in the gang?
That's correct.
Oh, well, I simply want a description of the man who wrote the note.
Well, I'm talking about the man who wrote the note. I was sitting right next to him when he wrote it.
Oh, which hand did he use?
Well, let me see. It's his left hand.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lyons.
I hope I've been some help.
Oh, just a minute, Carl. You haven't reported to the police.
Well, I thought about it, and I was afraid the publicity. We're leaving tonight, and there might be some delay.
Oh, I see. Well, once again, bon voyage.
Good night, sir.
Well, Carl, what do you think?
I think the man's a ruddy liar. A foul ruddy liar. A contemptible foul ruddy liar.
That's possible, but why?
I don't know, but the most miserable lie is that the kidnapper wrote left-handed. Why, even the rankest of amateur graphologists would know that to be impossible.
Could he have been disguising his handwriting?
No, this guy's writing lacks spontaneity. This note was dashed off. Hands like hams. Don, if I've been wrong about everything else, I am not wrong about that. The author of this note suffered a physical impairment of the right hand. What's the matter?
I just saw something.
Where?
In the back of my brain. I saw Frank Lyons describing his kidnapper. He made a fist with his left hand.
So he did?
He was holding a cup of coffee in his left hand. He put it down and made a fist. Why didn't he make a fist with his right hand? Didn't you notice he kept his right hand in his pocket all through the interview?
I hadn't, but I believe you're right.
Even when he took the notebook from his wife and handed it to you, it was with his left hand. That could tie up with what you said about Mrs. Lyons' handwriting.
The agitation.
Could have been terror, Carl. Sheer cold terror.
Abner Benson, age 31, fugitive at large, 5'11", 165 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Distinguishing features, paralysis of the last 3 fingers of the right hand.
What did I tell you?
Escaped Joliet Penitentiary.
Thanks to the use of the mug books, Sergeant.
Why? Why is Benson posing as Frank Lyons?
Is that a rhetorical question, or do you want an answer?
There's only one answer. Hong Kong. Benson wants to leave the country. He needs a passport. One that belongs to a man whose passport picture will pass for him. Frank Lyons.
Oh, a magnificently audacious scheme.
Well, why don't you go back to the hotel and congratulate him? Honestly, Carl, sometimes I think you're on the side of the criminal.
No, I simply admire ingenuity. One so seldom experiences it these days.
3 hours. We've got to do something.
Well, you could have him arrested at the airport. Oh, no, cross that out. Mrs. Lyons will be minus one husband. Now, our only hope is to find Lyons first before Benson's apprehended.
It's a great city to play blind man's buff in.
We've got to make Benson lead us to the spot where he's holding Frank Lyons.
Easier said than done.
Oh, hello, Dr. Hyatt. Don, I've got a date with Nancy tonight. If it's all right to have the night off. But I'm going to need a little advance.
I've got it. Carl, I think I've got it.
What? What have you got?
The bait. The bait to lead us to Frank Lyons. The same bait that Benson used.
But what bait?
Bill Adams.
Yes, by Jove. Yes.
Hey,
Bill Adams.
hey, what's going on here? Huh? Answer it.
Hello?
Hello. Who's this? Mrs. Lyons. Now, you don't sound like Frank's mother to me. Mary? Oh, no. No, I don't believe it. Well, congratulations.
Who's this?
Honey, this is Bill Adams.
Bill Adams from San Diego?
That's right, honey. Frankie wrote and said he'd be back through San Francisco, and...
It's the real Bill Adams, the one whose name you used. Hello? Yes, I'm here. What'll I tell him?
Ask him what he's doing here.
What are you doing in San Francisco, Mr. Adams?
I had to fly up for the auto show. Funny, some fella called me this morning and said Frank Lyons is up here. And, well, I just had to come up. Well, I wasn't going to miss seeing Frankie boy. Hey, I'm coming right up.
Oh, no, I'm afraid you can't do that, Mr. Adams. Well, we're leaving tonight. We're flying out for Hong Kong, and I have an awful lot of packing to do.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. That calls for a bon voyage drink, huh?
He won't go away.
Invite him up.
Hello? Why don't you come up, Mr. Adams?
Honey, I'm shifted into second.
That's right, Stan. Call me back in 3 minutes exactly. Right. Okay, goodbye.
What are you going to do about Adams?
Let him in.
Why, old devil. You are delicious.
Am I?
Where's Frank? I can't wait to hear more. Buddy boy.
Hi, I'm George Kent, an old friend of Frank's.
No kidding. Hey, this is great. This is Old Friends of Frank Week. Bill Adams
Mr.
here.
Kent just dropped in to say goodbye.
Oh. Well, take me to your leader.
Frank is over to the airline's office. He should be back any minute.
Oh, good, good. Where do you know Frank from, George?
I know him from school, Bill.
Oh, George Kent. George Kent. No, no, I don't believe Frank ever wrote me about you in his letters.
Excuse me. Hello. The 3 minutes are up. Oh, hi. It's your husband.
Oh, hey, don't tell him I'm here. I want to see the look on his pan.
What's up, fella? I'll have the car out front in 2 minutes. Oh, no. Sure. No trouble at all. All right, I'll be right over. Your absent-minded bridegroom left his wallet on the night table. He doesn't have any money for the charges. Wants me to bring it right over. We can all go.
Great, fine. Well, let's go.
You don't have to come with us, Mr. Adams. Wouldn't you rather wait here?
Oh, heck no. We'll get this business taken care of and then we'll hit a bar for a quick farewell drink, huh?
Oh. Bill, will you be a good guy and grab those other 2 bags?
Oh, sure thing.
Why do we have to take our suitcases?
Frank said there wouldn't be time to come back.
But I thought you said...
He checked out. Why come back?
Just like Frank forget his wallet. I remember one time in Korea, Frank forgot his... Oh, pardon me. Well, let's go. Come on.
This could be it, done.
Yeah, here they come. Now, if your oscillator gadget doesn't work, we're in trouble.
No, that's done. If you keep your radio tuned at 623 and stay within 300 yards of them, we'll get the signal. Beyond that, it'll fade out.
If they don't spot the oscillator on Zed, we're fine.
They won't find it. Why would anybody suspect a pack of cigarettes of being a shortwave set?
The fish took the bait.
'Tis a consummation devoutly to be fished.
What's this all about? Where are you guys taking me, huh?
I tried to warn you.
Just relax. You'll get there in one piece. Mr. Benson. Yeah? There's been a car behind us the past 10 minutes. Same car? I can't be sure, but I think so. All right, Stan, lose them. We didn't hop this car up for kicks.
They're pulling away. We can't keep up with them.
You better ease up. There's a sharp turn ahead. What happened?
Couldn't have vanished right off the road. We've even lost the signal.
We must have missed them back there somewhere.
But how? I can't figure.
Go forward, slowly. Back up to the point of strongest volume.
Of the disappearing sedan.
Well, shall we proceed?
Oh, I don't know, Carl. Maybe you better wait in the car.
Oh, rubbish. Statistics prove that 50 times as many mortals die from falls in bathtubs than by gunfire.
All right, here. Huh? Take this. Come on.
Why'd you bring him here?
I had to get rid of him.
What can I do with the two of them?
The Pacific's a big ocean, doll. There's room for two. I have to get away. Hag knows what to do with him. Funeral of my beloved bride. It won't take long.
Have a good trip.
The moment you hear any action back there, you take care of the girl.
Thank you.
Got a cigarette?
What was that?
Maybe you better take a look.
stay right there, miss.
Doctor's gadget worked like a sweetheart, huh?
Like a sweetheart. Jed, there's a package out back. You better tie up, huh?
Betty, is she all right?
Well, you won't make departure time, Mr. Lyons, but I'm sure she'll be all right. Once I use the phone.
Well, I hope the phone works. You know the best laid plans of mice and men.
It works. San Francisco Police Department, please. Lieutenant Brand. Emergency, yes. I'd like to see the look on his face when he picks up the present we're sending to him at the airport.
Yes. I wonder what he'll give us for Christmas. Well, to the bride.
Thank you so much for everything.
Now, don't worry about changing reservations. I've got a drag down at the airline. Well, there's this girl down there that I know will...
Excuse me. Hello? Who? Bill Adams?
Oh, no.
Now, look, come off it, Mac. We've had enough out of you.